There's starting to be high level dudes playing, the game that you innovated, like Shinya Aoki and guys like that now, right? That's got to be making more and more believers every day.
Even that Vinny Magalhaes, who's a Hoyler Gracie black belt, who once called me a faggot on YouTube, he is a total convert now. I mean, the last fight, he fought Elliot Marshall. He lost a close decision.
Yeah.
He wanted me in the corner. He wanted me to corner him for that fight, but unfortunately, it's conflict of interest working for UFC.
Right.
But, I mean, it's happening. We got guys converting left and right. Still, overall, I would say 90% of the jiu-jitsu community, they all believe what their instructors say, and they're all going by what their instructors believe, and hope happens. And by that, they hope that the rubber guard and my whole system ends up being just a sham, ends up being a fraud.
Yeah.
And so they don't have to learn it, and they could go on being the black belt who knows everything. You know what I mean? They don't want to have to fucking revamp the whole jiu-jitsu. So they're hoping and praying that my shit fails. They tell all their students that my shit is low percentage and it's fancy and it won't work and it'll fuck up your knees and you'll rip your knees apart. But every jiu-jitsu school that's like that, they all have at least one guy who's down with 10 planets, and he's the rebel, he's the outlaw. And, it's like I said, right now it's still, my jiu-jitsu is so tiny. I mean, the dam is only beginning to splinter and crack and spray some water. It's not quite yet toppled completely over, but it will.
Yeah.
I believe it will be, but you'd be amazed at how much resistance there is to my jiu-jitsu. All I'm trying to do is bring back jiu-jitsu and MMA, make it so that jiu-jitsu is the best martial art out of the three, wrestling and striking. Yep. I'm always pulling for jiu-jitsu, always waving the Brazilian jiu-jitsu flag. I decide to make some drastic steps into improving the jiu-jitsu game in MMA by removing the gi from the equation. I become the enemy. They all hate me. And instead of me trying to get everyone together in the jiu-jitsu community to bring jiu-jitsu back and get to mastering no-gi grips, I was cast out of the jiu-jitsu community that I worshipped. I was cast out. Now, most jiu-jitsu community hopes and prays that my system doesn't pan out.
Yeah.
And it's weird. I became like the traitor. I became like the enemy.
But at the same time, Eddie, being a rock and roller and being a rebel, and you're used to being the cast out. You're used to being the guy on the outside, right? You know?
I'm used to it now.
Yeah.
but also,
it's been a few years. I've become accustomed to it. I like it now. It's actually cool that it happened this way because now it,
Yeah, you're the punk rocker.
All at the end, it's going to translate to my music blowing up, and that's all I care about.
Yeah.
So the more they cast me aside as the outcast, the more the light is shined upon me. I mean, I haven't competed in 6 years. I haven't done shit. I haven't done anything, and I'm making more money than ever, selling more books and DVDs than ever.
And ladies? Getting lots of ladies?
Seminars.
Getting lots of ladies, too? Like selling books and making music? The ladies like that, right?
Well, can you repeat that again? You cut out.
You're getting lots of ladies?
I said you're getting lots of ladies, too, right?
No. That's not what it's about, man. I'm about just using jiu-jitsu, using my jiu-jitsu audience to blow my music up. That's what it's all about. You know that.
Yeah, no, but we're not talking about you're using it to get that. But I think what Robin's saying is that it kind of tends to be a bit of a byproduct.
Yeah, it's like, you're making good music.
You're going to get some more attention from the ladies.
You're being known as...
That's always a good byproduct.
Yeah, for sure.
It's all about music, global domination. I ain't stopping until I have, until people listen to me about music like they listen to me about my jiu-jitsu. When I talk jiu-jitsu, people listen. When they don't quite listen when I talk music. Not quite yet.
It's coming, though.
That's coming. It's the same sort of deal. It's like when you're an innovator in jiu-jitsu, when that's the way the world works, and then somebody comes in and says, you know what, I've kind of done some new things, and this is going to work. And everybody's built all their businesses and all their training regiments and everything else for years on one particular way. And then you're the guy that comes in and says, actually, we can do some other things too. Yeah, they're going to reject it. So it's the same sort of deal with the music. And now you've got more of the acceptance and the common ground in the jiu-jitsu world. You got high-level guys that are using what you're doing and are asking you to be there for them and all the rest of it.
And the next step is high-level music people coming in for you to produce it. It's the same world, man.
It's exactly the same deal. You get a little bit of the push out in the beginning, and then you're going to persevere, and you're going to push through, and then it's going to happen the exact same way.
That's the kind of guy that you is.
I hope so, man. I hope so, because I I really believe in my music. I really believe that the talent, that what happened in jiu-jitsu, I really believe that it's the same talent that I have in music. Because really, I'm not a virtuoso in music. I'm not Ingve Malmsteen on guitar. I don't shred on drums. I'm not a bass player I'm not Geddy Lee. I'm not this crazy vocalist. My talent in music is that this is what I think. I can recognize melodies. I put melodies together. I construct choruses. I construct the beats. I put it all together. And I think I have the ability to recognize what's good in music. That's what I think.
Cool.
And
Hey, where can...
I think it's the same thing. I recognize what was working and what wasn't working, focused on what was working, and then built on that, and that's what 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu came out. It was just me recognizing the bad parts of Jiu-Jitsu, the good parts of Jiu-Jitsu, and putting it all together. I think it's the same thing with my music, so...
It sounds...
hopefully it'll all turn out the same way, but who the fuck knows?
Hey, while we got people watching and listening and stuff, where can people hear your music? Where can they hear it right now? Online?
They could go myspace.com/TheTwister. myspace.com/TheTwister. Not D-A. TheTwister. I know you Canadians hate MySpace. You guys are all in love with that faggot-ass Facebook. I hate Facebook.
No. Well, I think there are a lot of people use both.
Yeah.
Here, but
people use MySpace for music still. Facebook
Right.
is where you try to get laid.
Right, exactly. So it's MySpace / /Twister.
The Twister.
The Twister.
The Twister.
I do have Facebook. I ain't totally hating. I just hate that you can't really, it's not really made for bands. You know, you can't really promote your music on Facebook. So that's kind of why I hate it.
Right.
Yeah,
And
Facebook's for getting laid.
Right.
MySpace is for music.
And do you Twitter updates and shit about what you're doing with music and that kind of stuff so people can
You
kind
know
of
what?
follow along?
Joe Rogan and Ari Shaffir keep telling me to jump on Twitter. I don't really know exactly what it is yet, but they say it's good for promotion.
Yeah.
And anything that promotes my music, I think I might be I'll probably be on Twitter within the next month.
Yeah, and you can you can like pop along updates and shit like that, and then people can follow along and kind of go, oh, look, he's heading down to the...
Oh, Eddie's going to the studio.
Yeah, Joe does that, and he's like, he'll pop in messages like, this fight just happened, that person won, and then he'll be like, I'm on my way to the airport, that kind of stuff.
And people just kind of feel like they're connected to you.
Yeah, so then they can kind of see what's going on.
People are into that? It's like it's a definite thing to get into?
It is, yeah. You'll want to do it. It's because you're a popular guy, and you've got two worlds that are going to want to follow you.
Yeah.
You got the fans in the jiu-jitsu world. You also got the fans in the music world. And a lot of times that helps to build other fans because... people will go, oh, who's, my buddy there, oh, he's following this guy named Eddie Bravo. What's the deal with him? And then they start to watch your updates, and they start following you, and then they tell other people, and it just kind of keeps people going.
It's also a place where you can update all of your jiu-jitsu fans with your music stuff, and they'll get the updates, and slowly it'll convert some of them.
Probably really good for seminar updates and shit, too.
Yeah,
yeah.
It'll also automatically update your MySpace and your Facebook account at the same time.
Okay, two things, Eddie. We're so appreciative of you coming on the show.